Welcome to the conversation at airsafe.com. I'm your host, Dr. Todd Curtis. This is show number 92, crash of an Air France A330 in the Atlantic Ocean near Brazil. On June 1st, 2009, Air France Flight 447, a scheduled international flight from Rio de Janeiro to Paris, crashed in the Atlantic Ocean in an area roughly 600 miles or 960 kilometers off the northeast coast of Brazil. Several areas of suspected aircraft debris were also found near the estimated position of its last radio communication. All 216 passengers and 12 crew members, together representing over 30 nationalities, are missing and presumed dead. Ships from Brazil and elsewhere are converging on these areas to recover any floating debris and the bodies of any crash victims. What isn't yet known is the location of any wreckage on the seafloor, including either the cockpit voice recorder or flight data recorder. Each of these black boxes is equipped with an underwater locator beacon, also called a pinger, which is activated when the recorder is immersed in water. The pinger transmits an acoustical signal that can be detected with a special receiver at depths up to 14,000 feet, or about 4 kilometers. The investigation is headed by the French BEA, the equivalent of the NTSB in the US, or the AAIB in the UK, and the BA will be assisted by representatives from other nations, including Brazil and the US. So far, the most direct evidence of the cause of the accident is the presence of aircraft debris on the ocean surface and a series of automatically generated maintenance messages that were transmitted from the plane shortly before the estimated time of the crash. According to Air France officials, these messages indicated that there were several problems with the aircraft, including some unspecified problems with the electrical system and cabin pressurization system. While there were severe thunderstorms in the area of the crash, and some suspicion that the aircraft was hit by lightning or severe turbulence, there is no direct evidence that either of these events occurred. The presence of several areas of floating debris and fuel slicks doesn't imply that the aircraft broke up in flight. Weather conditions, ocean currents, and the time that has elapsed since the accident may have been the cause of the widespread dispersal of suspected aircraft debris. The current weather conditions in the areas around the debris fields and the depth of the ocean in those areas will complicate the recovery of the black boxes or of any debris from the ocean floor. The Brazilian Navy estimates that the ocean in the vicinity of the suspected area of the crash is between 2,000 and 3,000 meters deep. The French government has sent a ship carrying submersibles that can operate to a depth of 6 kilometers, or about 20,000 feet. However, that equipment will not be available until at least 10 days after the crash. This is the first time that passengers have been killed in an A330 since this model entered airline service in 1983. This is the 8th time since 1970 that passengers have died while traveling on an Air France aircraft. The previous fatal event was the July 2000 crash of a Concorde near Paris. Given the circumstances of this crash, it's possible that neither the flight data recorder or cockpit voice recorder will be recovered. While this will make the investigation more difficult, there is still substantial information available for the investigative team, including the maintenance records of the aircraft, the communications that were sent from the aircraft, especially the messages indicating multiple aircraft system problems, weather information from the time of the crash, and perhaps most importantly, a substantial database of data from millions of other A330 flights, data that may reveal past events that are relevant to the situation faced by Flight 447. For updates on this investigation, or for other information about aviation safety or aviation security issues, please visit brazil.airsafe.org. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.